Hey guys, Woods Farm here, Project 222. Just back out in the garage working on the Scout Car. Today we're going to be working on the muffler system. It's been a long time coming, but finally we're getting to it. We've got the parts we need, hopefully. So that's what we'll be working on. So stick around and check it out. Okay guys, before we get started on the muffler system, I mentioned in the previous video that I was going to go ahead and show you the hatches mounted onto the vehicle when that was done. So let's go over and check it out. Pretty happy with the way these turned out. That's the way they look in the down position. You can see that smaller front-facing passenger side hatch there. It's permanently bolted in place, always stays closed, or you can remove it. And then the other three hatches all lock down and lock in the up and open position. Okay, let's take a look inside and I'll show you the hinge and locking mechanisms. So you can see how there's the arms and they're welded on and part of the actual hatch, and then they pivot on a bar which also pivots on the hinge, and then there's a latching mechanism. So the way this works is you got the lock and that's spring activated, that detent there, and then it locks into the open position. You can see how that arm works, and it moves the hatch up and away from the side of the vehicle. Earlier versions of the Scout Car, they had a hinge mounted directly onto the outside. A very simple hinge. It was pretty heavy duty, but it was mounted on the exterior, and I assume they went to this kind of style. It's a little more complicated, but they probably went to this style of hinge just to protect them. They were probably being shot and broken off, and if that hinge got hit by a bullet and broke off, well then your whole visor would fall off. So I think they went to like an internal style hinge to prevent that. But overall, very happy with the way it turned out. This is going to make the vehicle look the part. Okay, now that you guys got to take a look at the hatches and how that all works, we're going to move on and start working on the muffler system. Okay guys, we got this shipment here from Rock Auto. These are the mufflers. We're going to check it out. See what we got. I really hope these work, because I've gone through a couple of different ideas. Oh yeah, too tiny, which is good. You see there's just two small boxes in here. These are Walker 22234 part number. Well, there's not much to it. I don't know how it's going to actually quiet this thing down, but we'll have to see. There's going to be one on each side, obviously, so it just has to deal with 4 cylinders. So next step is to fabricate something and get these on the vehicle. So there's the two Walker mufflers. I bought a couple tailpipes, some adapters, 2-inch inside and 2-inch outside diameter pieces, And I also have a couple of rubber mounts. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these, but I've got them. And I also have a whole bunch of exhaust from, I believe, Ford Ranger pickup truck. And that's what I'm going to use to salvage for the elbows and the turns. I'm going to cut that exhaust up and refabricate that into the exhaust for the Scout Car. Okay guys, now that we've got one side done, all we have to do is go ahead and build basically the exact same thing on the other side. I also have to build 2 hanger brackets to hold the mufflers up in position, so we're going to go ahead and do that. However, before we get to that part of the project, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I designed the exhaust system the way I did. I'm sure I'm going to have a few questions about that. Okay guys, by now a few of you have probably noticed that we're positioning the mufflers kind of under the and off to the side of the engine and kind of out of sight. And on the original, the mufflers would have been on the outside of the vehicle, kind of right behind the rear fender in this area. Now the reason for that is the engine on the original Scout Car had a different exhaust manifold. This exhaust manifold points down. And on the original, it all collected towards the back and then kind of joined together, and then a pipe came out each side of the vehicle. So the issue for us was really the exhaust manifold. Getting the right sort of style for this Chevy engine would have been kind of cost prohibitive for the project. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put the mufflers down below, kind of out of view. And then possibly later down the road, we're either going to put a fake set of mufflers on the exterior so it replicates the look of the original Scout Car, or who knows, maybe we'll change the actual exhaust manifolds and we'll fabricate a proper exhaust system at a later time. Okay guys, now that the exhaust system is completed, we're going to go ahead and test it out. We're going to fire up the engine and see if these small mufflers make any difference at all. I'm going to cut in some older footage of the vehicle running in the garage without the mufflers, and then we'll transition over to the engine running with the mufflers so we can see if there's any sort of a difference in the noise level. Okay guys, we're going to wrap this video up here. It was great to finally get the exhaust system completed and functioning. We really needed to get that part of the project out of the way. In the next episode, I think we're going to be working on some small detail fabricating for the front fenders to kind of finish off the trim and possibly start patterning out the rear engine deck. So that's going to be pretty exciting stuff coming up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching.